Great choice. Site speed is indeed a very critical aspect of a favorable website experience. And I'm going to talk about how you can improve it. So, in May this year, Google Chrome announced a set of metrics called Core Web Vitals, which are related to speed, responsiveness, and visual stability of the website. And basically, these metrics help website owners measure user experience on the web. And as you can see, as part of Google's May update for Core Web Vitals, page speed is right up there, even above mobile friendliness. And those metrics are part of a Core Web Vitals are aspects of how users perceive and measure the experience of a website. So a quick and easy way to test this is through Google Page Speed Insights. Some of you may have used this in the past or know about it. For those who don't, simply jump onto Google and type in Page Speed Insights and follow the prompts to run a site audit. You can analyze both the desktop and the mobile version. There's always a tendency for the desktop version to rate higher than mobile because mobile is a tad bit harder to improve. But once the audit is complete, you should see a score that measures your page speed. Now, as you scroll to the audit, do keep in mind the green numbers simply mean that you're good, everything's working fine. The red and amber suggest those are the areas that need to be fixed or optimized. The tool also provides areas of opportunity at the bottom and the potential savings. So the most amazing part about that is if you action on those savings, you can see a quantifiable improvement to your page size or page speed. You could simply forward this report to your web developer to have it actioned, and boom, you've improved your page speed substantially. That's page speed from Google, but once you've completed that preliminary sort of optimization of your website in terms of improving its speed and fix some of the obvious gaps, you will need to deep dive into other aspects of the website to optimize it further. Now, one of the tools I always recommend you use, it's a free tool, and some of you may have tried this in the past, is GT Metrics. Again, simply Google GT Metrics. It's a free tool. Get in there, similar drill as Google Page Speed, punch in your website, and it'll spit out a performance score along with some useful information. I've often noticed that if you type in a HTTPS and your web address as opposed to www, it gives you better insight. Now, even before I drill down further into this report, I'm looking for red flags right away. Now, if you look at the page speed details section on the right, that's the area I'm always looking at. Variables like fully loaded time and the total page size is something that is of most relevance to me when I first jump onto a site. As the size of the page always has an immediate impact on load time. So clients always ask me, what is an acceptable load time, Raj? And that's a hard one to answer because there is a sweet spot for load times. Anything under 3 to 4 seconds is acceptable. 1 to 2 seconds is great. In terms of the page size, 3 MB is good. You're in a good spot. But there are some websites, especially in e-commerce, which just can't seem to drop that down to 3 or under 3 MB. Now, there are other ways in which you can do, improve that or better that, but the sweet spot is generally 3 MB. So, a lot of gaps that the report identifies will need your web developer's help. As you can see, there's a lot of, geek in that table, but there are a few things you could immediately do to improve your site speed. In the interest of time today, I wanted to show you how you could do some of it today while you're watching this video. At the very least, audit your site and look for those gaps right now. So one of them, or one of those variables, is something called image optimization. If you click on that section of the report, it will open up all the images on your site or on that page that need to be optimized. In my case, there's a quick disclaimer there. We recently ran an optimization exercise in October, So obviously, there's very few images that need to be optimized. You can just see one, but when you do that, I'm quite certain you would have several images in that section. The section also suggests the impact of actioning on this gap, which in this case, as you can see, if I sort of optimize that one image, I'm going to shave off 387 bytes from my load time or from the size of the page. Now imagine this at scale. Imagine you've got 20 to 30 images that need to be optimized. Now the exercise to undertake it can be done by a graphic designer, and I'm pretty certain if you can do it yourself, you'll see an immediate before-after impact once it's done. If you don't have a graphic designer, there are heaps of do-it-yourself tools out there. You can search for them online. One of the tools I suggest you try out is something called TinyPNG. The online tool helps you compress images, and it's pretty straightforward. Optimize them, and then to an acceptable level of web friendliness. Now the final output is very close to what graphic designers would in some sense share with you. The tool basically uses compression techniques to reduce the file size and selectively decrease the number of colors on the image. So that way fewer bytes are required to store data. The effect is nearly invisible to you, but it makes a big impact on the compressed size of the page, and in turn the size of the website, and of course load times after you compress all the images. So start with the home page and see how you go. Remember, the longer the website load time, the worse the conversion and the bounce rate. Okay, it's time to move on to the next track and your next choice as part of this adventure. You may have got the hang of this by now. The next track is about understanding your customer. So based on where you're at in your e-commerce journey, what is the most relevant item to you? Is it A, better understanding of key Google metrics that you can review and interpret? Or is it B, personalizing your website for better conversions? So where would you like to go next?